Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. You've probably heard by now that George Zimmerman's back in the headlines. His name has become a buzzword, and when the media puts it out there, everybody talks about it. Oh, did you hear what happened with George Zimmerman? Already, I've been asked that question a few times today, and I've been saying what I've been saying since the story first broke. Truth Seeker, when the Trayvon Martin George Zimmerman story first hit the media airwaves, I did not know about numerology or gematria, but what I said to everybody who asked me about it is I said, I wouldn't get too worked up about it. Your media is fake. It's meant to provoke you. It's meant to make you have fear. It's trying to mess with your head. I said, everybody in this nation should know that whoever runs the media doesn't give a single solitary fuck about black youth in this country, nor any impoverished youth. They keep it swept under the rug. They don't talk about it. So for them to all of a sudden focus on one black youth, I was working in South Seattle at Black Youth at the time, so don't think I'm some hypocrite. I actually work with kids. I have a passion for working with kids. I like to help all kids, especially poor kids. I grew up poor. So I was actually working with kids when this happened. And I was telling people not to get worked up because the story was probably all bullshit. I said, even if it is real, it's not worth being worked up over. I said, the real injustice is what almost all poor black youth go through every day in this world, from the schools they have to put up with to the communities. We have a giant epidemic in this country, and a lot of people don't realize that because they've only lived in their neighborhood with their family, their community for their life, and they haven't opened up their eyes to what's going on in other places. Anyway, that rant over, Truth Seeker. This story is back in the media, of course, because it's all by the numbers. Let's go back. But before we talk about Trayvon Martin, I want to talk about this other story involving someone who is black today in the news. This story of Jeffrey Sterling, this man right here, he was sentenced to 42 months in prison. CIA worker Jeffrey Sterling sentenced to 42 months. And 42 is this number coded all over black people all throughout history. The reason Jackie Robinson wore 42 was not for a nice thing. We will get to it. I just want to point out, though, that this guy's name was Jeffrey Alexander Sterling, which sums to 119. Notice the double 39s in it. Both the numbers or words 39 and 42 sum to 142 in simple English gematria. Another number we'll be talking about. So anyway, let's go back to Trayvon Martin and see just how this story was by the numbers. From the location to the age to the killer to his acquittal, all of it. We're going to connect it to Rodney King, Freddie Gray, Sean Bell, and more. All right. So, it happened in Sanford, Florida. This is where Trayvon Martin was killed. Sanford, Florida. Supposedly George Zimmerman was some wannabe cop, neighborhood watch, got carried away with his job and killed Trayvon. Sanford, Florida sums to 70, 79 with the S exception, and 142 in simple English gematria. All numbers that break down to 7. The number 42, when you write it out with simple English, sums to 142. Plenty of 42 in this story, Truth Seeker. What I also want to point out is that the word murder with simple English gematria sums to 79, like Sanford, Florida. This is a murder story. Murder 79. In your web search after this, type in dead at age 79 and see how many curious celebrity deaths come up. Death. That word equals 38, like Florida. And so many of these killing stories that we get bombarded with have been in Florida and Georgia. Georgia equals 44, like kill with simple English gematria. It's the 4th state. Also, Trayvon was killed at the age of 17, 21 days after turning 17. Kill with Pythagorean gematria sums to 17, with simple English gematria 44, and with Jewish gematria 59. A number coded all over black people as well. And think about that, it means kill. A lot of blacks are aware that a real genocide is actively waged against them. Truth Seeker birth control was invented in the year 59. It's not an accident. Stand your ground. This term in simple English gematria sums to 216, but two of the words have 79 within it. Stand your ground. And we're seeing a lot of 79 emphasis. Remember, the numbers in the stories typically sync up. Number with 9 numerology. Trayvon Martin, we'll get more to his name, but it has all these connections to Thelema. Thelema is about Saturn and Satan worship. Notice that Saturn in Jewish gematria sums to 511. Today's date, the date of the story is 511, May 11th. Saturn in simple English gematria sums to 93. The name Trayvon Martin, Truth Seeker, with Pythagorean gematria sums to 64, like Thelema with simple English gematria. Thelema's main phrase is "do what thou wilt," which sums to 64 with Pythagorean gematria like Thelema. Aleister Crowley is who invented Thelema. The name Trayvon Martin matches Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley wrote a book called Moonchild. Moonchild has a gematria of 93. These other words sync up with the name Trayvon Martin. The Synagogue of Satan. Those would be the authors of the Trayvon Martin story. Star Spangled Banner. Another number coded, or another historical event, a thing coded with all of these same numbers, Truth Seeker. Look at Star Spangled Banner in Jewish gematria. 666. I did a post about how we've been tricked into the beast system, the satanic system. I've actually done a lot of those posts. I'm not some religious fanatic. I'm an open-minded spiritual person, but I can see that whatever's happened to this nation is some sort of deep, dark sickness, and it's truly like a magical spell. It's impossible to explain how people can't see through what's happening. It's impossible for so many people to be fooled by this media that makes fun of us daily with their bogus stories. How can they put a picture of a man being shot in the back on TV where the cop unloads the whole clip from 20 feet away, the guy doesn't even react, falls to the ground, they show the footage of him even on the ground moving around, moving his arms, moving his head back and forth, not a drop of blood on him, and then all of a sudden they put a caption over the screen saying he died, and everyone believes it. How is that possible? I cannot tell you. How can buildings or planes melt into a building and everyone not act like it's the most suspicious thing on the planet? I can't explain it, Truth Seeker, but that's how it is. And that's why when the Trayvon Martin story rolled around, after more than a decade of understanding my media was bullshit, I couldn't believe that everyone around me was so fooled by this. But you know what, Truth Seeker? One of my friends, a little bit racist, like almost everybody, was getting really mad about the Trayvon Martin story and was seeing it more from that white conservative angle, defending George Zimmerman, saying the kid was probably a punk and an asshole and a thug and deserved it and all this shit. And I showed him how this media is fake. And in that time, he finally figured out how it was fake. He had a breakthrough. Next thing you knew, he was watching all the Zeitgeist movies that so many people do once they wake up. And anyway, he's been actively paying attention in this world ever since. He's not the same type of person. So I know people can be changed. You just have to be persuasive enough. All right, moving on. On April 11th, 2012, this is when George Zimmerman was charged and it became a news story. Right away, this date, 8/11/12, stands out. 4 plus 11 is 15 plus 12 is 27, a number that has to do with death. You can also add the plus 20, 47, number so often coded into all of this crap. The word mafia in Jewish gematria equals 47, and the people who run the media are the real mafia of this world. They run the world with misinformation and controlling the money supply, etc. But check this out. April 11th, there's more to it than that, Truth Seeker. April 11th is the 101st day of the year, right? The word assassin, which has to do with murder and killing. Look at this. Assassin in Jewish gematria sums to 411, 411. And in simple English gematria, it sums to 101. April 11th is the 101st day of the year. John F. Kennedy was shot on 11/22. 11 plus 22 is 33. 63, which equals 96. Like the word Freemason. The people who practice the gematria, coding of the numbers and whatnot. He was shot from 411 Elm Street. Think about Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. But 411. The name Oswald sums to 74, the reverse of 47, that other number we just talked about. The number of the martyr. Also, if you write out April 11, it sums to 119. Interesting. April 11th sums out to 147, another number so often coded. I did a video earlier this year on the hoax going on over in Africa, and everything about it was 4774. I did the video before they did the final body count. By the end, they said the final body count was 147 people killed. I'd already done a video days earlier showing how everything was 47 and 74 coded in the words. These people are relentless, repetitive. They are broken records. We haven't even got to the clincher yet. I've been ranting too much. Sorry. Oh, I really do hate all this stuff they do to us, Truth Seeker. I wish everyone could see through it. I don't know what's so hard about it. I've had to take it this far to wake up more people. Anyhow, Trayvon Martin was buried March 3rd, the anniversary of the Rodney King beating. His initials, T plus M. Trayvon Martin, 20 plus 13, 33. George Zimmerman, 7 plus 26, 33. T's the 20th letter, M's the 13th, G's the 7th, Z's the 26th. The initials are 33, the burial date's 3-3, the anniversary of the Rodney King beating. Rodney King was beat by the LAPD. What's that? It's just like this, Truth Seeker. LAPD equals 33. And the word police with Pythagorean gematria, 33. What's KKK? That's 11 plus 11 plus 11, 33. The KKK, the police, they've probably always been one and the same. Anyway, George Zimmerman, if you can remember, was acquitted for killing Trayvon Martin. Not murder. He was within his rights, they said. He was acquitted on July 13th, 2013. At this point in history, I still didn't know what gematria was. But at this point, I was really starting to clue into some real crazy stuff going on in our media. That Boston Marathon bombing really pissed me off, too. Obvious little gray poofs of movie explosives that explode upwards but somehow only injure people's legs at an event about running. I mean, how easy are these jokes to see through? They're not even funny, but somehow they fool the idiot masses. Anyway, his date of acquittal had a 33 numerology, just like Boston, Massachusetts is in one of only 3 33 states. They are Delaware, the state where the police just kicked the guy in the face. I have a video on that if you haven't seen it. The 50th and final state, Hawaii, and the 6th state, Massachusetts, where the Boston Marathon bombing hoax came out of, and where the Kennedy family is from. Kennedy is one of those 33 names. The other way to get the numerology of this date, it sums to 17, like the age Trayvon died at. Now get this, Truth Seeker. Rodney King was once beat, and the police were acquitted, causing a riot. The same type of thing is going on in Maryland right now. Eventually, those 6 police officers will be let off. Remember, it was 6 weeks that George Zimmerman went without any charges against him. Anyway, California and Maryland are the only 2 states with an 88 gematria. The beating of Rodney King, the video was 8 minutes, 8 seconds in length. No, I kid you not. These are the only 2 states with 88 gematria. The name George Zimmerman in Pythagorean gematria sums to 88, Truth Seeker. 88. The name George with Pythagoreans, 39, the flip of 93. Remember the number connected to Thelema? This story came out on 5/11. Saturn, Thelema, remember all this? Trayvon Martin, he himself was said to be 5'11". Now we know why. Fictional character, we see why he's 5'11". Would have been weird if he was 3'9", you know? 9'3". Doubtful. Anyway, Thelema, do what thou wilt, Trayvon Martin. And do what thou wilt means make up news stories, make up fictional characters, make up bullshit to control the masses. That's what this world runs on. Bullshit, don't you know? Trayvon was born in and died in February, Black History Month. February has the 42 Gematria. Before his shooting, the biggest story like this was the shooting of Sean Bell in New York. That story was all coded with 39 and 42. Remember how we talked about 39 and 42 both summed to 142? President Obama equals 142, the first black president. This is happening during the time of Obama. Well, Sean Bell actually happened during the time of Bush. He was killed on 11/25/06, a date with 42 numerology. He was supposedly shot 42 times by the police. One cop shot him 11 times, the other one 31 times. 31 is the foundational degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. I bring that up because today is 5/11/15, a date with 31 numerology as well, meaning tomorrow, Tuesday, will be 32 numerology, and Wednesday, 33. We'll see what other stories come in the days ahead. I suspect Wednesday will be full of it. Tomorrow probably too. Rodney King, again, beat on March 3rd by the LAPD by the police. The name Rodney King sums to 59, the number coded all over black Americans. Just the other day, on May 9th, Liberia was declared Ebola-free 5/9 after a 42-day period. 42-day period. Not a coincidence, Truth Seeker. Not a coincidence. These are the numbers on black history. Worldwide. The word kafir equals 33 and 42. It's the one they use over in South Africa. Freddie Gray in Baltimore, where the other 88 things happening, Freddie's a 42, Gray's a 24, the reflection of 42. The story's focused on his vertebrae, a 42 word. Notice the gematria of the most hateful word towards black people with the double 5-9 coding in it. This is Pythagorean gematria. Ends the 14th letter, 1 plus 4 becomes 5. I's 9, G's 7, G's 7, E's 5, R's 18, but 1 plus 8 is 9. Kafir, same thing, K exception 42. Here's a recent story from our headlines. Read it and weep. This stuff is sick. Please use taser on suspect for 42 seconds. You know? One more thing, Truth Seeker, I forgot to emphasize at the beginning. This happened in Sanford. Sanford, look at what it becomes in Pythagorean Gematria, 115. Again, today is May 11th. In some places, that date is written the day first/month, 115, like the location. 66 coded in. We just saw Freddie Gray equals 66. Another number of much significance. Michael Brown's witness, 66. Michael Brown's shooter wore the blues shirt with the number 42 on it. All of these stories are coded with the same numbers, done by the same group for the same purpose. Division, hate, frustration, apathy, anger. Think about how each one of these lies, think about the audience it reaches. You know, if I said the name Trayvon Martin, at least 3/4 of the country would know who I was talking about. And to think the person is a fiction meant to provoke. At the same time, don't confuse my words. I understand that black youth, impoverished youth, really all youth in this nation need better. I understand there's all sorts of problems. But realize these stories are only here to provoke. And the solutions that put in place aren't solutions. They're just things that will further enslave us, tear us apart. That's how this gang operates. You know? They blow up buildings in New York. They blame it on a false boogeyman. Then they say, we need to take away more of your rights to protect you. And we need to raise your taxes so we have more dollars for more security. Now look at what they're doing. More cameras for more police. And don't think those cameras are going to be used against the police. They're just going to be used more and more against people. This is how the police state was built. Hoaxes like Trayvon Martin. They had LeBron James go out and promote Trayvon in the hoodie. LeBron James equals 42. He's on a 2-year, $42 million deal right now. Born on December 30th. What's 12 plus 30, Truth Seeker? 42. His best game this... Oh, man, just watch my other videos. It's sick, Truth Seeker. This stuff's deep. And to think it all goes back to Saturn worship, Satan worship. Occult assholes think they're superior because they hide knowledge. They hide it by keeping us busy like mice on wheels. Just trying to keep up. How are we ever supposed to know what the truth is going on when all we're doing is going to school, going to work? You know what I mean? There's no time to even breathe in this society. It's just catch up, catch up, catch up. All right. I'm done. Till next time.